Sipping bubbly, feeling lovely. Tell you that I'm on the way, I'm on the way. I know connection is vague. Pick up the phone for me, babe.
And what's going on, fellow fanatics? Appreciate all you guys. Ones that are here, ones coming in. Appreciate all you guys being here. I'm trying to get this live, this comment section to work here. But yeah, appreciate all you guys being here. We are going to jump into some news from CinemaCon. We're going to jump into some news not from CinemaCon and talk about a few different things here today. Cleve17, appreciate you being here. Also appreciate you being here as well, Lawrence. Appreciate everybody that is watching, not in the chat. I have this pop-up box that's over the chat that will not go away. Oops, sorry, my fault. Yeah, that pop-up box will not go away. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But anywho, we're going to jump into some things, get into some news, hang out a little bit, talk about a few things, and then tonight, if you are new here, I'm sure none of you guys are new, but if you are new and you don't know what we do, or if you just don't know what we do in the evenings on Thursday, it is a Pantheon Thursday, so I am live this evening with Marcus from Back at the Bus and Chillmonger from, obviously, the Chillmonger channel. So we will be live this evening if you'd like to come by for that. So we'll go ahead and jump into some of the things that are going on here. Things that we're going to talk about are going to be the Legend of Aang and how the writers have come out and said what they think about the situation going on with the entire film being leaked. We're also going to talk about Toph, the Toph voice actor, not the voice actor from the film, the voice actor from the original series, what she thought about it, what Uncle Iroh's second voice actor thought about the leaks, and what they both collectively think about the viewership of it and people that have seen it already. We'll also talk about Cosmic Circus. Alex over the Cosmic Circus kind of gave some insights in on Doomsday and Secret Wars, and how he said that the Avengers after Secret Wars will be much, much, much younger. So we'll get into that. We'll also talk about what else was on that list? Over DC Studios. We'll talk about some of the things going on at DC, how Warner Brothers had their panel yesterday at CinemaCon, and shout out to Tina. If anybody doesn't, for people that don't follow Tina Lockley or Tina is there at CinemaCon, so she's getting to see everything firsthand. So if you don't follow Tina, again, love Tina. Shout out to Tina. Go follow Tina. She is following all this stuff pretty closely. Um, let's see, and we're also going to get into what's up, Cornelius. Appreciate you being here. We're also going to get into. Let me make sure I have that. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we're also going to talk about some other little things like this Harry Potter deal here and some of the casting things for that. Like I said, we'll talk about Legend of Aang. We'll talk about Aegon's Conquest, how that was also talked about yesterday at the Warner Brothers CinemaCon panel, and how that is going to be a film. I think they said coming out in maybe 2028. So we're going to talk about all those things. So let's get into some of those things and we'll move on. Okay. So the HBO Max series that we all know is Harry Potter series that is coming this Christmas is coming out this Christmas. They have given a behind the scenes look at it somewhat. If you watch that on HBO, you can go check that out. You get a more scenes of, not a lot, but like one more look at Black Snape and things like that. But they are looking at casting. Looks like Owen Cooper is leading as leading candidate to be cast in HBO's Harry Potter series, and this is the actor from Adolescence. He did very well in Adolescence. If you watch that limited series on Netflix, he's gotten a lot of awards from that from his. That's his first ever time acting. Acting is not something he said he was ever interested in doing, but it's something that he got into. So he did. He did Adolescence and did an amazing job on it. So he would be portraying Tom Riddle in season 2, which will adapt the Chamber of Secrets. Season 2 is officially scheduled to be filming at the end of July and is now, it says, expected to premiere around Christmas 2027. Um, so I guess they are going to do they are trying to release them. I thought they said they weren't going to try to release them every year, but I guess they are going to try to release them every year and do their filming. But so we'll have this year for season 1, and then season 2 will be next year. And I personally, I don't dislike this. I don't dislike Owen Cooper as Tom Riddle. I think he looks the part. I think he has the acting chops to pull this off as well. In Adolescence, he plays a once he's one if you've seen the film, once he's or the limited series, once he is he's it's a kid that is accused, and they don't ever tell you if he did it or if he doesn't do it. It's more up to the audience's interpretation to determine whether or not he is innocent or guilty. But he is accused of killing a little girl, classmate of his, and it was himself and I think three other friends of his that were out late at night with this young lady, and street cameras caught him and his friends with with the little girl, and blah 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 blah, all this kind of stuff. So anyway, he gets pulled in late at night. His family gets pulled in and all that kind of stuff. He's getting interrogated, but it's once he's getting interrogated by not so much the police department. He's assigned once he's in jail, juvie or holding or whatever, waiting for his trial while they're trying to determine whether or not he did it, is guilty. He has a counselor or something. He has like a teacher or whatever that he speaks with on the regular. I think she reports back to the courts and things like that. It's at that time of his acting where I could see more of him being Tom Riddle. He is very much of an asshole during those back and forths with his counselor. He gives that energy that Tom kind of gives, as far as when you see the flashbacks of Tom Riddle, when you see him um kind of more so in the newer one, I would say, when he's trying to when he's manipulating Professor uh Slughorn about the Horcruxes and trying to get information about it, how he is in that. So I could and in the old ones, and or the old ones, then in the second film and the Chamber of Secrets, when we see him in those flashbacks and when we see him talking to Harry. So I feel like Owen. Cooper could really pull that off. So I don't mind this casting at all. Outside of Black Snape, I think they've done a good job on the casting. So I'm looking forward to this series. I was looking forward to the series when not initially when they announced it, but looking forward to the series. So Owen Cooper, if you haven't seen Adolescence, check it out. Check out the kid. I think he's going to be one of the ones to watch for the next generation of acting. So yeah, that's just that story there. What's up, Tony? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Arthur? Appreciate you being here as well. Let's see. We'll move on. Let's see. Okay, so also Disney or not Disney, sorry, Warner Brothers had their panel yesterday, and one of the other things they talked about was Game of Thrones, and that the official Game of Thrones film is going to be titled Aegon's Conquest. This is something that we've talked about. Chill and I have talked about. Marcus, Chill and I have talked about. You guys, I'm sure, have talked about this and seen it. If you are a massive Game of Thrones fan or just a Game of Thrones fan in general, this is where it all starts, at least in Westeros, rather. This is where it all starts with Aegon, his sister wives, Visenya and Rhaenys, their dragons, Meraxes, Vermax. I'm sorry, not Vermax, Meraxes, Vagor, and Balerion the Dread. So this is again where it all starts. This is where Aegon has the dream. This is where he then sets out to conquer the seven kingdoms, which he does not conquer all of them. If you know the story, he does not conquer Dorne. But this is a story where again at first I was kind of thinking, can you really do this in a film? Is there enough there? Because, and the reason I only say is there enough there is because it's really not as if there is pushback from the kingdoms, obviously, but whenever Visenya or Aegon or Rhaenys descend upon whatever army or whatever castle or whatever, whether they're in Storm's End, whether they're in the Riverlands, whether they're in the Eyrie, it doesn't matter. Once they ascend with their dragons, it's game over. And that, I mean, that's if you've seen House of Dragon, the stories about Harrenhal and why it's all destroyed the way it is, why they're still rebuilding Harrenhal. Even at the beginning of House of Dragon, season 1, episode 1, at the very beginning, when Rhaenyra is telling the story of how Jaehaerys is deciding between her father, Viserys, and then her aunt, or I'm sorry, cousin, Rhaenys. They're in Harrenhal, and you can see Harrenhal is still destroyed. Well, that happens during Aegon's conquest. Aegon comes on Balerion. I forget, is it King Argyle that is over Harrenhal at that time? I can't remember. But I think that they had the pushback, and Aegon tried to, get him to bend the knee. He said he wouldn't bend the knee. He said, that Harrenhal has stood for however many years, it will stand against him as well. And then Aegon baked them from the inside out. Balerion blew fire on Harrenhal that so bad that it was melting the stone. So that's just one of the things that happens in Aegon's conquest, but it's like that every single time until he comes to Dorne. Dorne is where they lose their first dragon. Dorne is where he loses his one of his sister wives. Dorne is actually never conquered. The only reason Dorne comes into the fold of the Seven Kingdoms is through obviously marriage and deaths and just wanting peace at that point in time. But he never conquers Dorne. So the others are, like I said, it's fairly a thing where they go through, they conquer the Seven Kingdoms. Not really that, it's really not that much in the story besides Balerion just blowing fire and them killing everybody and making everybody bend the knee. But there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of politicking obviously in there, and that is what Game of Thrones is. It's not just the dragons, it's not just the fighting. A lot of what I love the most about Game of Thrones is the dialogue. A lot of what I love the most about Game of Thrones is a lot of the plotting and the things, the characters themselves. So getting to see Lannisters that are way before Cersei and Jamie. Getting to see some of the other great houses and how their ancestors were before them is also going to be something that's interesting if you are really deep into the lore and you love Game of Thrones like that. So that is something else that they talked about during their presentation over at Warner Brothers. So if Game of Thrones is your cup of tea and that's something you're interested in, um, that'll be pretty cool. This here, this one here is coming from also from their panel, and this is for Supergirl. Supergirl is one that I really don't give a good damn about. I don't care to see. I'm gonna go see Supergirl. I'm gonna go see it. I don't really care. Um, I just don't. I don't know. It's I don't really, I'm not really looking forward to this one, but again, I'm going to see it. This is the description that was given of the footage that was shown yesterday at CinemaCon. It says new action sequence where Supergirl fights tech pirates who attack a space bus she's on, and that's another thing. Just to stop it right there before we get into everything, one of the complaints for Supergirl from the very beginning was that and for Superman, is that we people were praying that it's not Guardians of the Galaxy meets DC. And that's not wasn't the case so much for Superman, but that seems to be. And I'm just going from the trailer. I know a lot of you don't like. Sorry, the last time we talked about this, some of you didn't like the fact that I was basing my opinion off of a trailer, which is what you're supposed to do. But basing my opinion off the trailer, it did look like it was Guardians of the Galaxy meets Supergirl. Um, I don't know. Haven't seen the film, obviously, but off of the first initial impressions that I've gotten, I don't want it to be Guardians of the Galaxy. I like Guardians of the Galaxy just being Guardians of the Galaxy. Not every superhero film has to be that for James, but that's the impression I got. And I know a lot of people also were saying that they didn't want that either. Goes on to say, interior of the bus looks exactly like Blisk Evely's comic. It says filled with odd exotic space creatures. Some have blue skin. Many match the designs of the comic smoking alien hookah. Kara is desperate, tired, asking the bus driver to get closer to the yellow sun to regain her power. Kara was at the yellow space. Kara wears a yellow spacesuit, but it's ripped away and ejected into space, where she regenerates from the yellow sun. Fights A fight ensues and with heat vision. Now, the heat vision stuff that they showed in the last trailer, that looked cool with her. That part was cool from the trailer. Says Ruthie looks more comic accurate. She's hunting Krim. Krim doesn't look comic accurate at all. She's hunting Krim herself, sitting on the bus next to odd alien creatures and arguing with Supergirl that she should help her. Trailer montage follows with Kara's face showing weakened powers, kryptonite poisoning. New shot of Superman opening something upward. POV of his face, sky behind him. Yeah, and I think one of the things that I think Marcus said this the last time, they were smart about leading, and not just leading, but showing Superman in these trailers because possibly to draw more of the audience in, and things like that. The connection, obviously, that they already have. We already know that Crypto was left with Kal-El when Kara was off partying somewhere. So this is, I believe, before, because Crypto is still, he's younger in this, I believe, than he was in the Superman film. So Supergirl, that's the description there. They also had some photos that of Lobo. The other things with Lobo, I still really do like Momoa as Lobo. I think Jason Momoa is going to kill it as Lobo. I think that's the role that he should have always been given in DC. So that part of it, I'm really interested to see as far as Supergirl goes with the main man. I like Lobo as a character, and I like Jason Momoa. And I do like what's her name? Millie Alcott. I do like Millie Alcott as well. I like Millie Alcott. I think that she is a good actress. I like the answers that she gave to Variety, I believe it was, a few weeks ago, about women in superhero spaces and blah 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 blah. So I liked the answer that she gave. I know a lot of people were not too pleased with it, and some people were even saying that that might hurt the film. I don't think so at all. Don't think that's going to hurt the film. I don't know if the film. Now, my prediction on the film, I don't think the film's going to do that great either. I don't think that the film was going to do that great before she said what she said. But even given what she said, I don't think that that's going to hurt the film at all. Do I think that this is going to be over the top for DC? Not at all. No. Do I think that they might make a decent amount of money for this film? What I give it, I'm giving it 450. Uh, I'm really not giving it high praise at all for what I think it's going to do. So, but you might be wrong. So let me know if you think that this is going to be really good, or if you think that this is going to be a stinker for DC. Something that they talked about also that I have been shitting on, but I'll tell you what, as I always say, when I'm wrong, I'll always admit I'm wrong, and I will always give credit where credit is due. Now, I'm not exactly saying I'm wrong just yet because I've not seen this movie, but this description, what they gave, the way that people were talking about it coming out of seeing the first clips or whatever of it, were high praise. Very, very, very high praise. And you guys know I've said this many times. I'm a really big horror fan. I want a horror film where I can actually be scared. Now this is not going to scare me like that, but that's what I mean when I say I love horror. I love horror. Love horror. Like the new Insidious film. We did not get to play the trailer on the afternoon woke up that I did with Chill, but I did watch the trailer later on. That looks great. Now I don't know. Again, is it just a trailer that looks great, or am I going to get in there and it's going to be corny as hell, and I'm not going to be scared, or anything like that? But the trailer looked really good. So I really love horror. The description for this, they were saying it had, which we already knew. James Gunn had said they were going to lean on the horror elements of it and things like that. My biggest complaint, which is still my complaint, and well, still going to be my complaint with any time that you're doing these characters and you don't have the reason that the character that you're doing even exists, the main character, a part of something like this. But that was my main complaint from the beginning, that, Batman may not be in this. I highly doubt he is. And if he does show up, it's going to be like the very end or something like that, alluding to him, like the bat signal in the sky or some dumbass shit letting us know what we already know, the Batman's in this universe. So, but that's been my complaint, but that's may not be an issue here with this. The summary that was given from CinemaCon opens with Matt Hagen in the hospital bed, face bandaged, only eyes visible. And it says someone attacks him with a knife and pumps chemicals into him, giving him powers. Pre-accident flashback shows his life as an actor. He underwent a specific procedure to turn. We know the story of Clayface turned his body into clay. Montage of his horrible transformation: red skin, lips fused, hands morphed into hammer-like shapes. Mostly shadows shown, not like kind of like when they did the Werewolf by Night, when we were watching Werewolf by Night transform. We could only see the shadow of him transforming. Then it says people screaming. His face changes, often showing him without an eye or mouth. He even wipes away his entire face at one time. Looks terrifying. Nothing like other DCU films. Practical body horror, raw, set to slow down the flaming lips. That's the song, I guess, I was playing. Do you realize? Or Flaming Lips, do you realize? So yeah, I may have been wrong. I may have been wrong about what Clayface is going to do. Clayface might actually be a really good DC film. Now, again, you can still make it work without Batman ever showing up. But I would hope that this would be, and I'm assuming it would be, because James Gunn liked it so much, because this was originally, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I believe this was originally going to be a part of Reeves's universe, but Gunn liked what they read so much so that they brought it over to the DCU. I think that was the report originally. So if Gunn likes it this much, and that means that this Clayface is going to go on to be the Clayface that we could potentially see in the future, fighting whatever Batman and Robin is a part of the DCU. So I do like it. I like what I'm hearing. We knew from the beginning that they were going to be leaning on the horror aspects of this, so I like what I'm hearing about it. People seem to have really had strong reactions to it at CinemaCon during the WB panel. So, yeah, again, I can admit if I'm wrong. Again haven't seen the film yet, but I will say I'm leaning more toward seeing this, um, and being more positive toward this than I was in the past. So, yeah, this looks like it's going to be possibly a good showing for the DCU. Now, with that said, bear with me one second. Bear with me one second. Let me get some damn water. Hold on. Okay. Um, yeah, so this looks like it may be pretty interesting. Looks like it may be pretty good. I'm gonna check it out. As more comes out about it, I'm sure I will like more. I remember the behind the scenes photos that they showed of the actor, I forget his name, playing him. Um, and some of the things I think he was like bloodied up and they had like bandages all on his face and things like that. So this looks like it could be good. And then as far as the effects go, once he turns into Clayface, that'll be interesting as well. So I'll definitely be probably checking it out. Again, the description was nice. This one we'll save for later. That'll be for tonight. Another DC story. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. To back down, to back down real quick on the DC stuff there. So I still stand by what I said about some of those other things, though. I still stand by what I said about the Jimmy Olsen show. And I could again maybe when a description comes out about that, I might be eating crow with that and be like, oh well, that's actually sounds really good. But as it stands right now, I still don't like the idea of a Jimmy Olsen show where we are following Jimmy and he is I don't know. Again, Jimmy doesn't have superpowers, so it says that he's going to be what investigating Gorilla Grodd. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how it works. Rachel Brosnan is not in it, so we will not have Lois Lane in it. Neither is Corn Sweat, David Corn Sweat. So Kal-El is also not in it. It's Clark Kent. It is just going to be him and a couple of others at the Daily Planet. So no, no, no major character draws here. Now, Jimmy is a big character in the DC universe as far as goes to Clark and the relation to the Daily Planet and things like that. There's been some crazy stories with Jimmy, but by and large, I just don't see Jimmy Olsen being the ass sitter where people are gonna be like, let's go, tune in weekly to. And again, maybe when the description comes out, I could be wrong, but we'll see. We'll see. Another thing that they talked about, which James had a hissy fit about online the other day, was it Adria? How do you say her name? Adria Arjana, however you say her name, has been cast in The Man of Tomorrow. The role remains unclear. It could be Maxima or Wonder Woman or some other character completely different. That's coming from the Hollywood Reporter. Now, I don't remember the exact quote from James Gunn, but I think he attacked who was it? Was it Variety? Was it the Hollywood Reporter? Can't remember. By saying that he hadn't met with any of those names. I believe she was one of the names. He hadn't met with any of those names, and he called their work shoddy and things like that. And now Chill, when we talked about it, made a bigger deal about it than I did because he's talking about the word shoddy and things like that. Now I get the word usage, but I didn't really look at it as a big deal because this is pattern, this is typical behavior from James Gunn. Something goes online about one of his films or one of his shows or projects or whatever have you that he's doing. It gets out there about it, and then he has a hissy fit. He says no. Well, he says no, that's not true. Calls people liars. The main example is when he went at Austin. Last name starts with an M. The Scooper. When he went at Austin, for saying that there was going to be a Middle East issue within the Superman film and said, well, that's not true. Don't know where those sources are coming from and blah, 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 blah. Lo and behold, in the film. Days before this, he said that he never met with people from this. So anyway, I don't really care that James Gunn says the things that he says online as far as this goes. I mean, it is what it is. I also don't, I've said this before. I've said it to Chill, like when they say that he lies. I don't really think that. I mean, James Gunn, I don't look at it as lying personally. He is the head of a studio where he's trying to keep secrets. He's trying to keep the mystique around the projects that he's doing, and wanting people to show up to those projects to be surprised at whatever we sit down and view. So it's not so much that he's lying. It's more so that he just doesn't want his shit to get out there. And I even said this yesterday, talking with a friend about this. I said, I, I don't really. I don't know if I would have went at the Hollywood Reporter the way that he went at the Hollywood Reporter, but at the same time, tighten your ship up, I guess. Tighten up however your stuff's getting leaked. Who's leaking your stuff? Because I mean, the Hollywood Reporter is going to do what the Hollywood Reporter does. They're a trade. If it gets out there and it's talked about and it's something major in the movie industry or whatever, they're going to talk about it. So it is what it is. I hope personally she's playing Wonder Woman. As I've said many times, I would like for the league and these main characters, the heroes that we all want to see, even though I know a lot of people have been arguing me up and down saying that, oh, let it cook, let him build time. We're gonna get there, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how many years y'all can watch Jimmy Olsen type characters, but I don't have that in me. I don't have it in me personally to sit and watch Jimmy Olsen type characters for years while we build to the characters that we are literally all here to see, the ones that we picked up the comics to read for the first time. Because when you picked up a comic, you didn't pick it up for the first time for Jimmy. When you picked up a comic for the first time, you didn't pick it up for Clayface. Not to say that Clayface still doesn't sound good, because it does. But I'm wanting to see the characters that I would sit down on Saturday mornings and watch Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, or comics, or the action figures that I had, or whatever it was. Like, those are I didn't have a Jimmy Olsen comics, or I didn't have a Jimmy Olsen action figure. So I'm wanting to see those characters. So I'm hoping that even though Maxima is not bad, but she's not Diana. So I would love to see Wonder Woman. That's who I would love to see. I hope she is playing Wonder Woman. Um, so that'd be pretty cool. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not shitting on DC. I'm ready for some of the stuff that's coming up with DC. But yeah, yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Before we move into the next thing, let's recognize the chat. Eugene, I appreciate you being here. He said, "What's up?" John Campia did say Clayface jumped Supergirl as far as excitement. I bet it did. I bet it did jump Supergirl as far as excitement, because for me, and this is just the seat that I'm sitting in, you guys could feel a completely different way. The seat that I'm sitting in is not remotely excited for Supergirl. I don't really even care. Um I don't know that Supergirl may be one that I watch on my site, just because it's like, I don't really care to pay to go see Supergirl. Gas is $4 a gallon, and I'd be spending upwards from $40 to $50 at the theater to see Supergirl. So that one I might pass on, but I do believe the Clayface thing, because the descriptions sound much more exciting than the description I read before about Supergirl. Uh, Jalen Harris said he attacked Deadline. It was Deadline he attacked. Okay, not the Hollywood Reporter. He went at Deadline. He called Deadline shoddy. Let's see. Pluto, appreciate you being here. Jalen, you as well. Chi-Town said, yo, I got here late. What did I miss? Not much. Just went over some of the, not much actually. Nothing really. Pluto said Jimmy Olsen's show is filming during Man of Tomorrow, so I have a feeling some characters will show up in his show, including Clark and Lois. They're not confirmed now, just like Adriana as Wonder Woman ain't confirmed, and that's very true. That could happen too. Those characters could very well show up. This is very early. They have not, even started filming yet, so there's a lot that we don't know. Only thing we know is that it's Jimmy Olsen featuring Relic Rod. That's all we know at this point. So that is very true. He could; those characters could show up. They are filming it if they're filming at the same time, which I didn't know that. But if they're filming at the same time, then it's very likely that those characters could show up. Let's see. Nova said, "Hey Darius, have you seen the leaked Walmart Superman play items on the napkins? Davis Superman is on them with Robert's Batman behind him. Is that a tease at something? I don't know. I haven't seen it. What is it? I'll look it up real quick. You said it's Walmart Superman party items. Let's see. This. Interesting. I don't know. Could it be that Robert Pattinson's, or could it just be that they're saying, hey, this is the DC, the new DC Studios, whatever. I don't know. Maybe because this is the only Batman they have to use at the moment, or maybe it's because once again James Gunn he's trying to debunk things that have been out there about plans that they are actually doing at DC Studios. He has said numerous times that it's not true that they're doing Robert Pattinson's Batman in the DC universe with Cornsweat's Superman. Matt Reeves, I think, is also notably voiced his dislike for that and not wanting that, and saying that he doesn't see how that would work or mix. At the end of the day, it's all fantasy. You can make any of it work. At the end of the day, James Gunn is the president, and Matt Reeves has to do whatever James Gunn is wanting done for these films and things like that. So I've said in the past, I think that Brandon Sklenard, if that's how you pronounce his last name, I think that is somebody that they are looking at and potentially maybe even might have the role. I've said in the past, I believe he does have the role. Haven't heard anything on that front in quite some time. He may not have the role, and they may have backtracked and gone a different route to where maybe all along it was Robert Pattinson. At one point in time, I did think that. I thought Robert Pattinson was going to be the Batman in that universe, despite what James Gunn and them were saying. So could this be a tease? Don't know. Possibly. Interesting. Let's see. Jalen said, I have more respect for DC for experimenting with these characters. Pluto said, I agree with you on Clayface. If they approached it like Venom, as in we don't have so we don't have the hero, so let's make the villain an anti-hero since we got a horror director. I'm still cool with that. I don't want them to make Clayface like Venom, though. I don't want them to make him an anti-hero. I really hate that they did that to Venom. It was cool in the first one. It wasn't even bad. It wasn't too bad in the second one, even though I really don't like that second one. But by and large, I don't like the idea of the whole anti-hero thing from villains. Has Venom teamed up with Spider-Man before? Yes. I don't consider him an anti-hero, though. Just like I don't consider Kraven an anti-hero, like they were trying to make that whole thing push that whole thing. So, but I hope that he is very much a villain in Clayface, and even if Batman, I don't know, man. I really don't. I'm so over that cheap shit though. I'm so over like Batman just showing up at the end, maybe coming to Gordon and being like, what's the issue? Or maybe Gordon doing the whole bat signal and we have a problem and something like that. And maybe he comes out of the shadows, or maybe I don't know. I don't know. But if he's even in it. But I'm really over that. But I would like for Batman to just be in it. Lauren said, I would check it out, but they better have Batman. Yeah. Yeah. Antonio Film said, body horror. Xavier said, I am now more interested in Clayface than Supergirl. Never thought I'd say that. Man. Man. Thinking the same thing. Antonio Films also said, yes, I heard all good for Clayface. Okay. All right. So maybe we're all checking out Clayface. Again, I can always admit when I'm wrong. So maybe I was wrong, and maybe we'll all be checking out Clayface if you already weren't checking out Clayface, because I was not, but maybe. Ira said he really can't wait to see Clayface. So yeah, might be a pretty good one. Dragonfly Jones said, only character DC has that the general audience cares about is Batman. You're not wrong. That was proven even with Superman. I thought Superman was going to do more than what it did box office wise. I didn't think $1 billion, but I thought it was going to do more than what it did. Just because it's Superman, but you're right. It's Batman. Antonio Film said, seems like Gunn was struggling with the thought of using Pattinson. I think Reeves does not want that. Yeah, no, at all. I don't think Reeves doesn't want it at all. I think Gunn has flirted with it way more than he has obviously said to the public. I think there have been conversations between him, his team, maybe him and Safran, if Safran's in on those conversations, being the money man. But yeah, I think they've definitely talked about it. And I also think they've also talked about it with Pattinson himself. So yeah, what's up, Blue? Yes, Blue. I gave Clayface its praise for sure. I gave Clayface its praise because bravo. As far as the description goes, and the as far as the attention it got from the audience at CinemaCon, good job. And I think I saw Tina talking about it in a little video she put on Twitter as well. So yeah. Professor said, I still have a question on Clayface unless Batman shows up. Yeah, I need Batman. I need the heroes. I need the reason these characters exist outside of in this universe, in this world, in the first place. It's because of Batman. So yeah, I agree. Antonio Film said, I heard Reeves was fighting the old DC EU with being in the large universe. That's what took his film so long. Maybe. Like I said, I know he doesn't want that. I know he doesn't want it at all. But at the end of the day, if push comes to shove, and that's just the easiest thing to do, make it happen. All right. So Cosmic Circus. What's his name? Alex over at the Cosmic Circus did another one of his Q&As. We used to go through those Q&As all the time. As of the decline of Marvel, we have not gone through them. So we kind of skim through some of the good things that are out there that they talk about that gets released. Now, again, people pay for those Q&As, by the way. It all comes out. Anyway, so it says one thing he said, most of the characters in Avengers Secret Wars will reportedly be under Dr. Doom's control. This we know if you've read Secret Wars. Then it goes on to say they will be living in a more medieval version of Wanda Maximoff's Hex in Westview. So this is kind of new information. We already knew that Doom was going to be controlling all of the heroes after Doomsday, and he reconstructs the world and universe to being battle world, and some people, as we know from the story, some people are going to remember the old universe, and some people are the old world, their old lives. Some people are not. You will have, like in the comics, you have the core, the Thor core, the police, policing it all, and all that kind of stuff that don't remember. I think Doctor Strange remembered. Spider-Man remembered, Thanos remembered, or Miles Morales' Spider-Man remembered. and Spider-Man remembered. Thanos remembered. I don't believe Namor remembered. Did Namor remember? Can't remember. But there were a couple heroes that remembered, a couple characters that remembered their old lives and things like that. So that'll be the same thing, I believe, in the MCU. There are going to be some characters that still remember their old lives, but the overall Doom control, the overall battle world is going to look a lot like Wanda's Hex. I don't think now. I doubt it's going to have the whole Hex wall around it, but it will be as far as that when it comes to mind control. When it comes to controlling all these different characters, controlling all their new lives and things like that. So I do believe the concept art that came out, it is going to be this medieval version of this new universe. And if we can pull that up actually for context here. What was it? Secret Wars. Oops. Yeah. Secret Wars concept art. If I can find it without having to, yeah. So yeah, this medieval vibe here that you've got in these three photos here. But I believe this is all real. I believe that the Hulk stuff down here, Tatiana Maslany is not going to be in Doomsday. She's not returning. I believe that. I believe Tatiana Maslany is returning as She-Hulk, despite her issues with Disney, Palestine, Palestine, and Israel, and everything like that. I still believe she's going to be in it. The last answer she gave about it was someone saying that they heard that she was in it. She's like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out, and things like that. Now, she could just be whatever, but she could have just also said, no, I'm not in it, the same way she was all on her Instagram story saying, delete your Disney Plus accounts. So if she felt that strongly about it, she would have just flat out said no there. So, I don't know. I think she's in it. I believe that this image is real. We'll have Scar, we'll have all the Hulks and whatever part of Battle World that they're going to be in. This stuff here with White Vision and Peter Quill. Peter Quill is not in Vision Quest as previously reported at one point in time, but Peter Quill is not going to be in Vision Quest. So this whole sequence here, I don't know. Some of this stuff could also had been taken out. Obviously, it's just concept art, so some of this stuff may not even happen. But I do believe that the two top panels, and then I believe the panel here where you've got Doom in this room with what looks like Doctor Strange as Sheriff Strange. You've got, I don't know who this is here. The internet detectives have broken all this down. I know this is Yelena standing behind this person that's kneeled down. That this might be Reed, maybe. I could be wrong. I know that this over here is going to be help me out on the name. Sue, it's Sue, but what's the actress's name? Vanessa Kirby. Sue over here standing with either Franklin or Valeria. Valeria, I believe, is also still showing up in Secret Wars, Doomsday, all that kind of stuff, because if I'm following the rumors correctly, if I'm following the plot stuff correctly that is out there, from Doom's universe, he lost because of this is Earth's Mightiest Avengers. Now, I didn't watch Earth's Mightiest Avengers like a lot of you wanted me to do a watch party or something for that. I didn't watch Earth's Mightiest Avengers, but I did see the whole deal. This was during the Kang Dynasty days. I did see the whole deal that they did with the Kangs, and how Kang came back and tried to kill Captain America because something that he did in his time disrupted something in the future or whatever. Same thing here. This is literally that story. They are taking Dr. Doom is upset over something that Steve Rogers has done to affect the timeline. To affect the multiverse to a point to where his galaxy or his universe was destroyed during an incursion, to where he lost his family, he lost his daughter. I believe his daughter that was Valeria Von Doom. I think he was married to a version of Sue in his universe, or whatever. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, if you've read these rumors yourself. I'm trying to keep up with the Doomsday ones, but there's so many different things out there. I'm sticking up with the ones that a lot of other people are also saying, okay, yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right. And this is one of the ones that a lot of the scoopers all agreed on, that this is happening, that's Doom's story so far. So if that's true, that would be Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm there, and he might be standing with Valyria. And then up here, you know, him sitting on the throne that he's got, and then this Black Panther, whoever. So those are the four that I believe are really going to happen. I also believe that the Young Avengers are going to be in it. We know that Speed is going to be showing up in Vision Quest, and we've already seen Wiccan. And Wiccan, according to reports, I can't remember where these reports came from. Let me make sure that this was um even real. Wiccan Joe Locke. Believe he just signed a deal, like a multi-picture deal or something like that. I believe that's what it was. Let me see. What was the latest? Joe Locke signed I'm sorry. Joe Locke signed a multitude of projects with Marvel Studios to portray Wiccan in the MCU. So I don't know if he's going to be reports say that he's going to be in Vision Quest as well. So that also, this picture here with the Young Avengers, I believe as well, could be very much real. We know that Cassie is in it. We do know that Kamala Khan went to, God, blanking on names, the new Hawkeye. Went to Haley Steinfeld's character, I'm blanking on names, and said, her Ant-Man's got a daughter, putting together a team, doing the whole Nick Fury bit. So the Young Avengers are going to be a part of this in some shape or form, because we recently learned in new reports that Wanda is going to be being used in some big way in Doomsday. They said, according to reports, this is coming from Alex of the Cosmic Circus, that we're going to see Dr. Doom using his power, using a power that we've only ever seen, I think, two other people, he said, use in either two other people or one other person use in the MCU. The only person that can think of something like that would be Wanda. And if that's true, they said that Wanda was probably going to gift him this ability or use this ability to help him or something like that. Because if you remember, the early reports were that Doom was going to be married to Wanda. They were maybe going to take that whole Children's Crusade route from the comics and things like that. I don't believe that's happening anymore. I don't believe he's going to be married to Wanda. I think he's going to be married to Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm in the new universe. He's not going to be married to Wanda, but he's going to use Wanda as a tool. Wanda's one of the most powerful characters in the MCU. And that was reported on early, that he was, even before it was switched over to Doom, even when it was Kang's dynasty, Kang was going to use Wanda. Wanda was a tool for Kang as well. So Wanda will still be a tool in this. So that's where you can bring in your botched version of Children's Crusade, where you can bring in the Young Avengers and things like that. Obviously, Wiccan Speed is looking for their mother. They are going to be teamed back up with their father in Vision Quest, where they are the writers, showrunners, and everybody involved with Vision Quest said that they were told by Marvel Studios to do the things that you really want to do. Go all out with the show. So the finale, or the final few episodes of the show, are supposed to be some big events, pretty big events that are key, tying into Doomsday, because Vision Quest does go into Doomsday. Or Secret Wars, whichever one. I don't know if Wanda's I doubt it. Don't know if Wanda's showing up in Vision Quest or what's going to happen with that. But I think that obviously the family, the three of them, at least from the Maximoff Vision family, are going to be back together. That Speed, Wiccan, Vision. If she is there, maybe the four of them are back together. But then you take away the motivation that Doom would have to manipulating Wanda, because if she's back with her family, what could you possibly, being Dr. Doom, what could I give Wanda that you can't give yourself? other than your family. You've already got your family back together. So then if she shows up in Vision Quest and is reunited with her family, which again I do not no longer believe is happening, then it takes away the whole, motivation to, I can help you. I can help you achieve the things that you're wanting to get. The same story that we've seen before. But um, Wanda is supposedly going to be one of Doom's acolytes. They were talking about um, possibly them having on, Doom mask or some type of silver or mask or whatever, being a part of Doom's witches or whatever. I don't know if you remember that report that came out, but Doom was going to have a team of witches or a few witches around him, and Wanda may very well be one of those witches. And I think some others are thinking that Sylvie may also be one of those. So there's a couple things I am trying to keep up with Doomsday, but there's a lot out there. A lot out there for Doomsday. I do believe this whole medieval thing, though. I do believe the whole go back. I do believe this whole thing, the whole Westview, Wanda Maximoff hex. Yeah, that's what he would, he needs Wanda's power. He needs help. Doom is going to be powerful, but I don't think he's going to be, God Emperor Doom until starts building Battle World and things like that, and using Wanda and using some of the other, I think there's somebody else, Sentry, I think he's using as well. But it goes on to say, described as WandaVision meets What If, the Avengers assembled in 1602. So, yeah. Looks like, again, it's kind of been out there as far as the whole medieval vibe. There's the Wanda being a tool has always been out there, even, again, when it was Kang Dynasty. And then he goes on to say in another one here, he said he was talking about the ending. So this is also coming from Alex of the Cosmic Circus. He said the Act 2 description, the ending of Act 2 makes you think the movie's over, and then in comes the bait and switch that'll leave your jaw on the floor. And then you realize there's an hour left of the movie. So here's the thing. I believe it. I believe it. Do I believe that this film is going to drop jaws? I do, man. I do because we are, despite all the shit that we've seen, despite your Echoes, despite your Hawkeyes, your Secret Invasions, your Wonder Mans, despite what y'all say, despite all that terrible stuff, those terrible shows, despite even some of those terrible films, there was a few gems in those shows, and there was a few gems in those movies. But despite the years that we've been watching the decline of Marvel, people jumping off the ship, people hanging on for dear life, people trying to pray for a resurgence, people just completely done. This is not Quantumania. This is not Echo. This is not any of those other projects that we have been subjected to since Endgame. The Russo brothers, and I understand that, you have to see the film, and I'm the same way. I need to see the film too. I'm not, with me saying what I'm saying, it's not me saying that I'm counting down for Doomsday either. I'm at the current moment, I'm not. I need to see something from Doomsday to get me excited to be able to count down toward Doomsday. I'm not there yet. But regardless of me not being there, as you guys already know, I always say I'm a realist. The facts here are the Russo brothers have never delivered a F when it comes to Marvel, when it comes to their involvement with Marvel. Winter Soldier, it's the Russos. Infinity War Endgame, the Russos. Civil War, the Russos. These are great films that were done by people that adore these characters way before the MCU was even a thought. We've heard the Russos say in interviews and things before that the X-Men and Secret Wars are the two main things they really wanted to get their hands on within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They've gotten their hands on Secret Wars now, and according to reports, they are going to be overseeing and be involved with a lot of the X-Men stuff as well, which I think would behoove Marvel Studios. I think it's extremely intelligent to have them involved with to me with all your damn projects. I think you keep them on permanent. I don't think you just keep them on for mutants. I think you keep them on for other things as well. I'm not saying you solely go to the Russos. You want to bring in other creatives, other minds and things like that. But the Russos seem to have a handle and understand these characters quite like if you were to jump over to Lucasfilm, how Dave and John understand these characters. Those two are a pair over at Lucasfilm that I kind of look at as the pair, like I look at this as the Russos over at Marvel. Why? Because they understand those characters. Watching Maul Shadow Lords right now is a clear indication. Now, when you go see Mando Grogu, that may be a completely different story. Haven't seen the film, don't know. But it's very clear that Dave understands this universe. He understands these characters. We know that. We've seen Dave's work before. Same thing with the Russos. The Russos understand these characters. They understand this universe. They understand what the fans even are wanting to see. So with that in mind, and knowing that I'm looking at your resume, I'm not shocked when I hear that there's going to be moments where people's jaws are going to be on the floor. I'm not shocked when I hear that there's going to be they've even said that that it's going to be dark. People are going to leave. I mean, imagine how you left the studio or the studio. Imagine how you left the theater at the end of Infinity War. At the end of Infinity War, when we were all still high on Marvel, when we were all still sipping the Marvel Kool-Aid. When you left Infinity War, I don't know about your theater, you could hear a pin drop toward the end there. Because I don't think anybody was expecting it to turn. We didn't see that, the casuals, rather. You haven't seen the heroes lose like that. People die like that. People disappearing, and you don't know, are they dead? What does this mean? Imagine how you felt then. And that was under the Russos. So if you have jaw-dropping moments like that, now granted, your argument could be, Darius, those were built up to moments. And I can agree with you on that. Those were built up to moments. There were moments where we knew Thanos was plugged in here. Thanos was a post-credit scene there. There were clues to leading to the Infinity War here and there. There were no clues leading to Doomsday. There were no clues leading to Doctor Doom. There's nothing like that. But I still don't think. I still believe that even without leading up to Doom, which I still think is a massive, it's crazy that there's been nothing leading up to him or even Kang for that matter, if they would have kept it Kang outside of Quantumania. Even with that knowledge, I still think that they're going to be able to pull this off in a way. And I'm very curious to see how they do it, because I want to see, can they do it? But I think they can pull this off in a way where it's not going to matter that we haven't seen Doom in the past 5 years and some of these things. I think he's going to be such a threat in the moment that the past is not going to matter. What we are going to be witnessing in the moment is going to be so big. It's going to be so probably monumental for the MCU, and it needs to be monumental for the MCU in order. And this is not, to me, Secret Wars Doomsday doesn't get Marvel back. Doesn't say we're back. It gets Marvel back on the right track. You need to deliver a few more years of good quality films, a few more years if you still do your Disney Plus stuff, of some good Disney Plus shows, fleshed out characters, things like that. You've got to get the audience back. I don't believe Doomsday or Secret Wars does that. Why? Because Doomsday and Secret Wars is the first time the Avengers have been a title since Endgame. Was it 2018? So 2019, whichever the fuck one it was. So with that name alone is already putting asses in the seats. That name alone is already a draw. The Avengers. Then you've got what you've got in the names that you're pulling back. Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, some of the other names from the X-Men Fox universe, and people that haven't watched maybe since then. Again, I told you I was talking to Henry the other day, who said he was having water cooler talk at his job with a couple of other people that do not care about Marvel, because Henry doesn't care about the MCU either. He watches with me, but he's not like, Henry likes it, but he's not deep in it. He doesn't care like that. And I guess these people are the same thing. They're not deep in it. They don't care like that. He said one of the people said the last scene they saw was Deadpool and Wolverine, but the only reason they went and saw that was because Wolverine was in it. They said they hadn't seen anything since Endgame outside of that. So you have a lot of people out there like that. But they said, but this whole thing with them bringing back the X-Men, what are they doing there? That's interesting. I want to see what they're doing, and they're bringing back. So if you have you're piquing curiosity. Is that going to be enough curiosity to drive people to buy a ticket? We'll find out after these trailers. But you're piquing curiosity. People are wondering what you're doing. So I think that you're still going to have people that, again, that are going to have their jaws on the floor. You're going to have people that are still going to be shocked. You're going to have people that are going to be leaving the theater in silence and things like that, because a lot of, from what to believe the reports, the Russos even said that a lot of your heroes are going to die. A lot of your heroes are going to die. And with a lot of your heroes dying, that leaves that again that shock value, that moment in the theater where everybody's going to be like, oh my God, I expect this person to die. I didn't expect for this to happen. And then they say, you know, like Alex says here, your jaw's on the floor. And then you realize there's an hour left. There's an hour left in the movie. Now, again, if the Russos are able to pull it, if they're able to pull this off, if they're able to pull this off to where you're having, because one of my biggest criticisms is Marvel cannot land a third act to save their lives. Marvel can't land a third act to save their lives. But if the Russos are able to pull this off to where you've got they're saying it's a 3 hour film. You got first hour's bang, second hour's bang, third hour's bang. That's 3 hours of constant on the edge of your seat. I don't know if you've seen that movie. The last time I was on the edge of my seat for a film in the theater, I want to make sure I'm saying that. Make sure I'm thinking of there's another movie that did this after that. No, last time I was on the edge of my seat for a theater where I was completely engaged in the movie, like really engaged, was Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil with Professor X from the God, why am I blanking on that man's name? I can't remember his name. Blanking on his name. Good movie. Edge of my seat. If the Russos can pull this off to where people are on the edge of their seats the entire time and are not thinking about the last 5 years of bullshit from the MCU and are engaged in the moment, then you've got a winner. Especially if, again, jaws are on the floor and you realize, damn, there's a whole nother hour left of the film. Where could we be going with this whole hour left of the film? So, again, I don't want anybody to think, oh, Darius is over here glazing James McAvoy. Thank you, Arthur. Darius is over here glazing the MCU. Darius is, no. You guys have sit under me and watched and listened to me for the past few years as my decline in the MCU and my faith in the MCU has faded. I'm not even watching where I would be watching every show. I've only seen one episode of Daredevil season 2. I didn't even finish the last season. I didn't watch some of these other shows. I checked out Wonder Man, didn't watch Eyes of Who Cares, didn't any of those, a lot of those stuff I've tuned out and haven't cared about any of it, because when it comes to my current excitement and motivation for even still being here in the MCU, it's what are you doing with Doomsday? I do care about Vision Quest. You all know that. The Maximoff family. I love WandaVision. Secret Wars, Spider-Man. And then, of course, the Mutant Saga, if that is going to be, if they handle it right, the Mutant Saga. So, I'm not glazing or anything like that. I just realistically, this is one of the biggest movie. It still is, despite their terrible 5 years. Marvel is still the biggest movie studio in the world. And with them doing what they're doing and captivating the world the way that they have, people may have fallen off, but I'm telling you, the curiosity is going to draw people alone. And then once they drop that first trailer, if that first trailer really drives it home, which I think, again, it is, we'll find out tonight. CinemaCon is tonight, or CinemaCon, their panel is tonight. Disney's panel is tonight. So when we do Pantheon tonight, I'm sure we'll be talking about the reactions or the description of the trailer or whatever it is. And then we'll go into the deep discussion on that. But I think once that trailer drops or whatever that is, I hope it's in front of Spider-Man. I think that'd be very smart. Then I think people are really going to probably change their tunes on. Then we'll start seeing a lot more of the excitement. We'll start seeing a lot more of the discussion surrounding Doomsday, because if you give a good trailer, then you start bringing back your theory stuff. You start bringing back your breakdowns. You have your YouTubers breaking down the trailers, breaking down. Not to say that people weren't doing that with some of these other Marvel movies or these other Marvel shows, but it has been a decline. It's been a decline from a lot of the big YouTubers that have covered things like that. Now you got your new rock stars that are paid by Marvel that are going to cover whatever, whenever, all the time. But your others, your more real YouTubers that aren't getting the paychecks from Marvel and the paychecks for Disney to shield over everything and love everything, have scaled back on their consumption of Marvel products and just what they do on their individual channels as far as breaking everything down. Whereas some of these channels, like ourselves, myself, I can't speak for Planet Fanatics, I used to cover everything. We used to cover everything over here. We used to, I mean, reactions, everything. And wanting to get back into that just because I want to get back into the channel and want to grow it more, but just we used to do everything like that, but the decline was because of what Marvel was giving. So I think we'll start seeing people do these breakdowns of the trailer, talk about this, who's that, what's going on here, what's his name? God, I don't remember. Chris Gore, right? Chris Gore, I think, something Gore. What's his name? I think it's Chris Gore, the guy that gave the let me find that, gave the description. Let's see. Yeah, Chris Gore. Thank you, Eugene. Hold on. Let me find exactly what let's do media. Because the description he gave a while back on Doomsday was okay. Oh, there's nothing. All right. The description he gave a while back on Doomsday was that the trailer was going to show Doctor Doom using a lot of his power and things like that. We were going to be seeing some heroes in it. Hold on. Chris Gore Doomsday trailer. I think it's this one.
69.
And there's a lot of things I can't mention.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you what I can say. It's not anything groundbreaking at all.
Mm-hmm.
One, the plan is this will premiere. The trailer will be seen with Avatar Fire and Ash.
Okay, so he wasn't wrong there. These sources don't get everything spot on the head. He wasn't wrong here. There were trailers or stories that did premiere with Fire and Ash.
That's the plan going forward. Okay, it'll be seen there, which I think will actually really drive up the box office.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's when people will see it, and that comes out in late December. Right? What is it? The 19th? You can look it up. And the person who saw it said it's not finished, not completely finished, but he was this person, he or she, was surprised at the amount of footage they showed of Doom in action.
Mm.
It felt like, and this is my interpretation, it felt maybe a little desperate that when they say Avengers Doomsday, this is not a teaser trailer. You're going to get not just a glimpse of Doom, you're going to see Doom. And the way the character was described in terms of Downey's interpretation of the character is a classic Universal monster, like the Phantom of the Opera. The Lon Chaney Phantom of the Opera. It's a tragic figure and a broken figure, and part of it is his armor, Doom's armor. Okay, Iron Man had the armor, and that was his superpower.
Yeah,
Doom must have the armor because he has a broken body, scarred, and he's going full. Not my words, someone else's words. He went full Universal monster with the interpretation.
So true Darth Vader and not Kylo Ren.
Exactly. The suit, he needs the suit to actually function. So this is almost, you're right, Darth Vader. It's like almost, and frankly, when I saw Star Wars in 1977, the first thing that popped in my head after seeing the movie was, that's kind of like Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is green and and metallic armor. Darth Vader is just Dr. Doom spray painted black.
It all comes full circle.
That was my, and look, even George Lucas admits it was, he was influenced by Flash Gordon, pop art, Marvel Comics, so makes sense. So this is, and then of course add the element that Doom has not just his technical and skill with science, also combined with magic,
which is very Doom.
Yeah. So Doom is going to be shown a lot in the trailer, apparently, and I do believe that he's, accurate on the sources he's got there. He was right on the trailer showing up in front of Fire and Ash, and it did. It was not the trailer, but it was trailers. And yeah, I see that, Antonio. Yeah, I all of that stuff. Gore is not someone I'm subscribed to. Couldn't even barely remember his name, but I do know about some of the things that he has said, along with those other Proud Boys that are on YouTube. So yeah. Not somebody, unless you're into that, not somebody that you may want to get your film news from, but somebody that came with a little bit of information in regards to Doomsday. So Chris Gore there. Yeah, that's what he said about Doom as far as him. As far as Doom being in the trailer and showing up and blah, 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 blah. So I think that the trailer, again, is going to be a big talking point. So the next thing here from Cosmic Circus on Secret Wars is that he said the Avengers will reportedly be much, much younger. I like this. Now, the reason I like this because it gives my T'Challa a chance to get back in the fold, the real T'Challa, to get back in the fold here. Now, again, that also does give them the chance, which would be stupid as fuck, and this is something I could see them doing. Now, hopefully they've learned from a lot of their mistakes and their stupidity over the past 5 years. But again, Marvel's going to Marvel. Well, let me rephrase that. The MCU is going to be the MCU. Feige's going to Feige, just like Sony's going to Sony over there on their end. Everybody's going to do their own deals, and Marvel and the MCU and Kevin Feige and all those people over there have made it plainly obvious to us. We are not the comics. Stop thinking we're the comics. We're going to do things our way. I don't care how it's done in the comics. We're going to do something similar to the comics, but this ain't the comics. So since it's not the comics, we're going to do things our way. We've seen that. You've been burned by that before. So the reason I say all that is to say, I just hope with them being much, much younger, the Avengers and these characters, I mean, you're going to have a younger Steve, you're going to have a younger Tony, you're going to have a younger Ant-Man, you're going to have a younger Thor, all these younger characters and everything like that. My only issue is I hope they still don't do the kid and have him be, T'Challa with this younger group. Again, it wouldn't make sense. But it is a different universe, so but it wouldn't make sense as far as Pierce go. Captain America is not one of Toussaint's, the child's Pierce, or any of these other characters are not one of any of his peers. So I hope they don't do that. But if they did go the route of T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, back in the fold, maybe there is something here with Damson Idris where he may be portraying T'Challa further on. Again, as I told you before, I'm giving hope here at this point. I do not believe Damson is playing T'Challa in Secret Wars or Doomsday, but again, the possibility that he is playing T'Challa in Secret Wars, Doomsday, or both, that may translate over to Black Panther 3 and the reboot and a much younger Avengers cast and things like that. I could see him in that. However, the only issue I also have with that is scheduling. They can make things work. It's not as if he'd be busy over there in the mutant saga for the MCU. I mean, I don't know what their Black Panther plans are, but Children of Blood and Bone, I'm sure he's going to be busy with that. The last time we watched him say something about that, he said that it's for us. It's going to be monumental. It's going to change so much for Black folks and the movie and this and that. So a cultural event, basically. So if it is, and it is very successful, this could go on. They want this to go on to, how many books are there? There's 3, so there'd be 3 movies, I think, that they'd have. Again, you can make it all work, scheduling or whatever, but hopefully if he did take the role to do this more than just the appearance in either Secret Wars or Doomsday, then maybe he's going on to play T'Challa further on. But then if not, and they bring somebody else in to be the T'Challa or the kid or whoever, which I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure they've talked to him, Damson, about doing it long term and not just. I remember Tina had even said that she had heard from people that were close to the situation that he may have been waiting in on negotiations to do something more than just a cameo, to have a multi-picture deal, to be the new T'Challa. And according to other reports, and according to some people, or I don't want to say according to other reports, because other reports haven't said anything. They've just said that a new T'Challa is going to be in the MCU. Now, again, we don't know if that's T'Challa or T'Challa, son of T'Challa, or T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, or Tucson. We just don't know. So we'll find out. But with that much younger cast, I mean, everything starts over. You could redo it all. So I would hope T'Challa would be in that much younger cast. But what do you guys think about a much younger Avengers squad showing up? Before we move on, I do want to address this. The super chat here from Arthur. Thank you, Arthur, for that from a while ago. He said, very excited for Aegon's Conquest, blaring in IMAX. Yeah, man, the biggest dragon in history going to show up in IMAX on the big screen. Yeah, I can't wait for that. That's Aegon's Conquest is going to be dope. Let's see. Blue said, Darius, what do you think about the Disney/Marvel thing, and what effects do you think it has on production? Or firings? Oh, firings. Yeah, I skipped over that one because I said we were probably going to talk about that in depth this evening. But my personal thoughts on it, we've seen this effect before when they fired folks. I've seen people even talking about that on Twitter, showing the terrible VF effects from Quantum Mania and some of these other shows. Now, granted, that was from overworked reports, purportedly said overworked VFX workers and people quitting and blah, 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 and some firings. But I think that it is, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good at all. I think it's going to affect, hopefully not, like, for their sake, hopefully not Doomsday, Secret Wars and things like that. But I think it's going to affect production and affect the way that some of these the films look as far as VFX and things go, for sure. Let's see. Lauren said, based on them saying She-Hulk was a successful show, they haven't learned enough. Yep, you damn right. You know what? I meant to bring that up when I was talking about the whole Tatiana Maslany She-Hulk thing about her. I meant to bring that up. That was who I believe is Feige's predecessor, Winderbaum. That was Winderbaum that said that. Winderbaum said that She-Hulk was their most successful show, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Tatiana Maslany, as Lauren said, is great. She-Hulk was not. And now I don't know if it was their most successful show or not. Maybe, I don't know. But I know it wasn't. I know She-Hulk wasn't terrible after seeing some of these others. It wasn't great at all. But it's not capitalized terrible. It's like lowercase terrible. Let's see. Nova said, that sounds good. Dim down right. All right. So let's move on. What's up, Andre? Let's move on. Okay. So one of the biggest things going on this week has been the Legend of Aang. So shout out Lawrence. And I'll get into my feelings here in a second. Shout out to Lawrence. Lawrence is the one that sent me the link for the film. I did watch the film amongst many other people. Even if I was one of the only ones that watched the film, I wouldn't feel any way about it. And so the writers have come out and have spoken up on it. There are reports saying that over 15, which I don't believe these numbers, 15 million people have seen the movie. Again, I don't know how you're quantifying that, but 15 million people have seen the movie. They have talked about, let me see, I want to make sure I have the other stuff here. It says Paramount is investigating the person who leaked the entire Aang Last Airbender film. The company eliminated the possibility that the link was caused by a vulnerability in the system. So, if anything, as we, one of the things that we talked about the last time, Chill and I talked about this on the afternoon woke up, was that this is Paramount. I don't support Paramount. One of my biggest issues when they decided to pull it from the theaters and put it on Paramount was that, I'm going to have to watch this on one of my sites because I'm not going to purchase Paramount Plus. I'm not purchasing Paramount MAGA Plus because I don't support the Ellisons. I don't support Donald Trump and all those things. And I've seen some people online saying, despite you're not supporting Paramount Plus and supporting the Ellisons and what they stand for, you still should support the artists and things like that. Well, whoa. As we talked about too, the artists have been paid. These people have all been paid already. The actors, the voice actors have been paid. The artists have been paid. Everybody's already got their checks. The only people that are losing money from this are the Ellisons who naively took it out of theaters. Now, after I watched the film, I told you my review on it. I gave the movie an 8 out of 10. I don't think it was blow me away fantastic at all. I thought there were some issues with the story. I wish that the Aang Gang Team Avatar would have been way more fleshed out. I felt like they were kind of just there. They all had moments where they did badass things, like they had badass, Toph had her bad. If you haven't seen the film, sorry, spoilers alert. This is really not a spoiler. Toph had her badass moment. Katara had her badass moment. Sokka had his badass moment. I really can't even remember Zuko's badass moment, which again takes me back to my original complaint that I had about Zuko and how I felt like he was just there kind of in the background. He really didn't have a badass moment besides being the Fire Lord and helping them, providing the ship that navigated them to the air nomad islands, where the lion turtles were. So yeah, so I saw people saying that despite it not going to theaters, still support the creators, blah blah blah. Had this gone to theaters, Paramount could have made buku amounts of money from this, but you decided, I guess, because of your own bigotries and naiveties and the way that you view the world, that you decided to pull this property off because, and this is told to me from Chill. I don't know this, but I haven't read this anywhere, but I could see this given the Ellison's views, that they don't like the story of the Avatar. They don't like the message, and all that kind. They don't like so that's maybe why they pulled it from theaters, to spite that story, to spite the creators, to spite the Avatar in general and whatever. But that backfired. This is all speculation. I don't know this for sure, but if that is for sure, that backfired on you. Backfired on you because it leaked. Not only did it leak, the only ones losing money again are the Ellisons and Paramount. The voice actors have been paid, the writers have been paid, and I do understand where they're coming from as far as like, hey, we worked our butts off on this. We worked for years on this. We wish we could have celebrated this in theaters or on streaming with everyone when it was supposed to have been released. But the reality of it is you didn't get to do that. The reality of it is it got leaked. And the reality of that leak is you can't look. Besides these people that are trying to walk the moral high road, and a lot of these people could be walking the moral high road just in Twitter fingers alone. We don't know what these people are doing at home. We don't know if these people are watching the movie. There's some people on Twitter talking about it. Fuck you if you've watched the movie, knowing good damn well, because again, we don't know if the movie was in front of you or has found its way in front of you. You're telling me you took the morally high road and said, I'm going to wait for streaming in October. I'm not going to click play, even though this film is at my disposal. You're lying. You're lying. I don't believe that. So even these people that are taking the morally high road or whatever their stance is and saying, I don't watch it or whatever, the fact of the matter is it leaked. The fact of the matter is, if this were Doomsday or Toy Story or any of the other upcoming films that leaked, for the masses would watch and consume them because we're waiting for this type of content. Now, again, I feel bad for the writers. I feel bad that they put their heart and soul in it, but it's not as if viewing it in October opposed to viewing it in April takes away the magic and the congratulations and everything that you are due, the flowers that you do for the work that you did. It's a beautiful film as far as the visuals go. I think the story could be a lot stronger. I thought that the people could have been more fleshed out and things like that. But as far as a step up in animation from previous Avatar things, it looks great. I didn't hate the film. I didn't hate their voices, the voice actors. I thought the voice acting was good. I thought there were elements of the story that I liked. Again, there were things I would have changed and whatever. But you have time to do more. The reception from this doesn't take away the hard work that you got. From what I've seen, you've been getting good reviews from people from this. People have been saying how much they love this. People have been saying we want more from Team Avatar. People have been saying I've been seeing nothing but good things about it. I've been seeing remixed videos, people using footage from the movie on TikTok and things like that. So I've been seeing a lot of people saying a lot of good things about it. So I don't think that just because it's not getting viewed 6 months from now and it's getting viewed now, it takes away from the flowers that the creators are due, the flowers that the voice actors are due, and the flowers that Brian and Mike are due. It's still, you brought Avatar back to a generation. I grew up on Avatar. I grew up on Avatar when it was week to week. I wasn't a person that discovered it during COVID or at a later time. I was a week to week kid. I was a season to season kid with Avatar. I was there during the premiere of what is this? Holy shit, I love this. So you brought Avatar back to a generation and a new generation that discovered it during COVID, and maybe people that discovered it during this leak or whatever. So I still give them their flowers. I still give them, clap for all of them that were involved. I fuck Paramount and the Ellisons because of the principles and things that they stand on. But when it comes to these actors or these voice actors and everybody else, I think, you know what? I really don't think it's that big of a deal. You've been paid and whatever. I know there again, people want to take this morally high ground, but you're lying. A lot of those people that are saying fuck you, don't watch it, have watched it, have seen it. I ain't gonna tell you they've seen it, but they've seen it. So this is one of the writers here that said, we worked on the Aang movie for years with the expectation that we'd get to celebrate all of our hard work in theaters, just to see people unceremoniously leak the film and pass our shorts around like on Twitter like candy. I don't like seeing people use Paramount's awful decision to remove the movie from theaters to justify leaking it. I totally understand folks not wanting to pay for / support Paramount Plus, but pirating the movie after its release would have at least been better than this. This is incredibly disrespectful to all of the hard work the artist put in. Again, I'm sorry. I just don't see it from that point of view. I don't see it as incredibly disrespectful. I think it'd be incredibly disrespectful if 10 million, 15 million people. Actually, I don't even think that'd be incredibly disrespectful because, again, that's coming from Paramount. You're mad. The call's coming from in the house because you're mad at the wrong people. You're getting mad at the fans and saying that fans are being disrespectful for consuming something that's literally in front of us. We live in a microwave society. If something is in front of you and you can have it now instead of 6 months from now, would you? And it's completely done in an HD. Why the fuck would I not watch it? What? So this saying it's incredibly disrespectful. I don't believe that it's incredibly disrespectful. I don't. The call again is coming from inside the house. Someone from within Paramount Studios, which some are saying think that it was purposeful from Paramount Studios that this happened because of the whole issue with the story and the bigotry that they personally hold. So if that is true too, again, we don't know, but if that is true too, again, the call's coming from inside the house. You need to be upset with whoever sent the email that got it leaked, whoever leaked it. Now they say that Paramount is closing in on the person that did it, and they're going to be investigating them and blah 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 blah. But again, I think the call is coming from inside the house. So yeah, I mean, I don't find it disrespectful, honestly. I haven't watched it again. I've only seen it once. but it does, like Lauren said there, it does sucks for the team. It sucks for them. I said that initially. Sucks for the team. It does, but it happened. It already it has now happened. And again, I don't think it cheapens or takes away any type of congratulations or flowers or praise that the team is very well deserving of at all. Regardless of viewing it in April till October, the praise is the same. Then we had the voice actor. Let me see. I guess I can go to, am I logged in on Planet Fanatics on here? Let's see. The voice actor for Toph in the, oh, I'm not. That sucks. Bear with me 1 second. Let me find this on here. The voice actor for Toph and the voice actor for Iroh, the second voice actor for Uncle Iroh, they weighed in and said that they also, again, these could just be people. Now they might not have watched it. And again, I don't know. Maybe they watched it too. Maybe they didn't. But Toph says she didn't watch it. Okay, let me copy the link. All right. Toph says she didn't watch it, and then also said that you shouldn't either. Did that not go? Oh, there it is.
Thinking about it, and stop sharing things about it. I'm Michaela Jill Murphy, aka Jessie Flower, the original voice of Toph Beifong in the original Avatar: The Last Airbender series on Nickelodeon. And if you want to be respectful, and if you want to know how I feel, stop sharing it, stop consuming it, stop talking about it, and watch it when it comes out. That's what I'm doing. And if you want to respect the creators and respect the cast and respect me and respect the art, then stop sharing it and editing it and looking at it and commenting about it.
The key to earthbending is your stance. You've got to be steady and strong. Rock is a stubborn element, so if you're going to move it, you've got to be like a rock yourself.
So maybe just practice some discipline and patience. Flag videos where you see clips from it. Respect the art and respect the creators. I know everybody might not listen, but that's not a reason for you not to listen. Just be respectful and wait. That's how I feel about it. Bye, Twinkle Toes.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. If you want to be respectful and wait, again, I don't find it disrespectful, but if you want to be respectful and wait, you can do that. Again, every household is different. Every person is different, and what they're going to do. I don't find it disrespectful. I just don't. This leaked. It's not as if 15 million people individually hacked into Paramount or stole the movie. It leaked. So I think it's just unrealistic to ask people, hey, don't watch this movie. It's online right now, but don't watch it. So that's what she had to say, and this is what Uncle Iroh's actor had to say. His wasn't a video. All right. Uncle Iroh said, oh, shit. Okay. He said, the second voice of Uncle Iroh in Avatar: The Last Airbender, Greg Baldwin, shared a message on Instagram urging fans to be respectful regarding the leaks from Avatar: Aang, The Last Airbender movie. He urges fans not to watch or share the leaked adult Avatar movie, saying it's disrespectful. It disrespects the creators, the cast, and everything Uncle Iroh stands for, including. I'm not butchering that. Don't know. My child, you are stealing something that does not belong to you. Using the line there from the show. Then he goes on to say, and technically, is it stealing if it leaked? Help me understand. Maybe my moral compass is a little fucked. Is it stealing if it's leaked? It's online. The internet is a public place. It leaked in a public place. Is that stealing? You're going after the apparent 15 million people that's seen it. Again, where's that number coming from? The apparent 15 million people that have seen it. Or 15, are you going at the 15 million people stole that? Come on, bro. Like, no one stole this movie except for the person that leaked it originally. That's the person that stole it. He goes on to say, when you download and view the leaked ATLA film, you dishonor a story of love. You dishonor the creators, the artists, the writers, the musicians, the actors. You dishonor Mako, his son. You dishonor me. You dishonor Iroh. What would Iroh do? What would Iroh do? Imagine him being behind you as you click the link and says, my child, you are stealing something that doesn't belong to you. Yeah. And again, and see, this is someone that said, not gonna lie, with the actors on this one, and that's fine. Everybody is going to approach this situation differently. If you feel as if you are one that you're like, hey, I'm going to stick with the actors and the creators and the writers on this one, I'm going to be like, don't share it, don't watch it, don't talk about it until October. Bet. However, for myself and many others, again, they're not special. I'm going to make this claim for me, speaking for me. Avatar Studios is not special. Let a motherfucker at Marvel Studios get this bold with Doomsday. I will download and put that shit on a disc so fast, especially if it's the complete full HD movie like that was. Are you kidding me? Or would I say, you know what? Let me respect Marvel Studios and Disney. And I didn't leak it originally. It just fell publicly on the internet for me to consume. And there it was. So I just clicked on it. I didn't do it, but I'm gonna wait till December. You are out your rabbit ass mind. Not saying you. I'm talking about just in general. I'm watching it. I mean, it leaked. It's online. They know we live in leak culture, and from my understanding, I'm not up to date or up to par or on my news with Paramount Plus. But this is not the first time that this happened over at Paramount Plus. This is the third time that this has happened. This is the third time that this has happened over at Paramount Plus, apparently. So sounds like Paramount Plus has some issues with their security. Cornelia said you didn't break in, but you're taking products you didn't pay for. Again, you can look at it that way too, but this was put out to the public. So let me ask y'all this. Again, everybody's morally different. Let me put it this way to you. If I'm behind I remember seeing this maybe it was during COVID or before, can't remember, or maybe after, sorry. On the highway, one of them Brink trucks, back doors flew open, money everywhere on the highway. Motherfuckers pulled all over, raking money, scraping money, scooping it all up. That ain't your money. But you getting out? Are you staying in your car and minding, hey, that's not my money. I'm going to mind my business. Again, everybody's morally different. Everyone's morally different. Me? Get me a rake, get me a broom, get me one of them machines that sucks up shit. I'm taking it. Yeah, no, brother, no. Like, it leaked to the public. The public didn't attack Paramount. The public didn't leak it. An individual leaked it to the public. So the public consumed it. I mean, I don't know. Isn't that a crime to take money? What you going to do? Prosecute every person on the highway? It probably is a crime. I don't know. Again, I don't know. Probably. It probably is a crime. But you're going to do? Prosecute every person on the highway? I don't know. Hey, Again, everybody's moral compass is different, and that's fine. But like I said, it's to the public. I feel differently. Everybody, and it's fine. Everybody can feel the way they feel. I have no stake in the game, so I'm not going to argue with anybody about it. I have no stake in Paramount. This didn't affect my wallet. I don't know Brian or Mike. I'm just a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I saw the movie. So yeah. Blue said, I'm getting out with a power vac. Yeah. Ira would forgive. Blue also said second-hand theft, LOL, halfway crooks. And in the words of the great poet Mo Depp, there ain't no such thing as a halfway crook. Yeah. Andre said it's definitely a crime. And if they can track the money, and they can track the money sometimes. Yeah, they can. They definitely can with them serial numbers. They can track them. But hey, I'm gonna let you know. Also, let me ask this, because I know a lot of us grew up black. How many of y'all was watching Medea bootlegged? How many of y'all was watching Cars bootlegged, or any of those other films bootlegged? Got it from Johnny in his back trunk. Yeah. There's nothing new under the sun. This isn't new. It's unfortunate, but it's not new. I don't believe that, Cornelius, but hey, I didn't live your life, so you say you didn't, okay. Yeah, there's nothing new. This shit happens. Like I said, I have no stake in the game, so I don't really give a good damn about Paramount or how they're affected by it. I know I saw the movie, and I didn't think it was that great anyway, so yeah. Dragonfly Jones said, if Doomsday leaks, I'm watching it. Brother, you're not alone. If Doomsday leaks, I'm not only watching it, but I'm immediately going live and talking about it after. What? So yeah. Blue said, believe it or not, studios use pirating / bootlegging as a metrics for demand. 123 Movies is available, and I use it every month. It is. Let's see. Dare says, you already cover the protest letter of the list of stars protesting. No, I didn't know there was one. I get not wanting to spoil online, but not watching it until October. Nah. Yeah. And that's another thing. If you watch it and you just, like that's something I can agree to. That is something I can agree to, because now I asked Chill this, I said, are you going to make a review? I'm personally not. I'm not going to make a review over the movie. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to do that. People might. I do agree with them on that point. Stop talking about it. Stop sharing it. Don't talk about it. You can watch it, but don't go online bragging about, I watched it, talked about it, and go deep in conversation about it and all that kind of stuff. Now, Chill and I didn't go deep in conversation at all. I think he might on his own individual stuff, but I'm not. I agree on that front. Brian and Mike been paid. Yes, sir. They have been. Planet Poppy says, shout out to the DVD man. You would always catch them at the gas station, dollar store. Yes, gas station, dollar store, the barbershop, beauty shop. I used to have to sit. Me and my used to have to sit and wait for my mom to get her hair done. And yeah, they used to come around there. Yeah. Make a review and release it the day the movie comes out. Now that you can do. Dragonfly Jones said, on something like that, I got to keep it moving. And bills might be marked. They might be. Okay. Yeah, that was really it. The only other thing I will I'll talk about, and before I get out of here, because like I said, we're gonna be live this evening for the Pantheon. Only other thing I'll pull up here is oh yeah, let me show. Did you guys see this? Somebody made this Kang thing. Let's look at this real quick. What did this thing say? Yeah, see, this is a person here. It said, I'm going to wait until the movie comes. I'm going to wait till the movie has been released to support the creators and artists. I wish it was given the theatrical run, but too many amazing artists dedicated years to making this beauty to only have their work leaked. Now, I think I saved this because the comments were interesting. Someone said, it's only eye candy. The story is very, very weak. The VA's scripts was weak. Characters acted against their own nature. It felt like a filler episode of an anime. It was very pretty though. I agree, it was. Knowing what I know, I would be disappointed if I waited 6 months for the movie. It's mid. You know what? I won't say it's mid. And maybe that's real by saying it's mid. I won't say it's mid, but again, I gave it an 8 out of 10. It doesn't have me breaking down, ready to end this stream to go watch it again. Even after I watched it, I didn't end it like, man, peak. It was okay. It was good, but it just wasn't like, it wasn't that, it didn't hit like that. So I agree with this. I agree with this comment. I agree with this comment. Another comment said, nothing to support. The original cast was the heart and soul of the show. We shouldn't support racist studios who won't hire actors for certain roles based on race. There's another take. I'm not buying a Paramount subscription. I'd rather pay the studio itself. I'm being so for real. Animation studios should just start a GoFundMe. If they don't release it in theaters, I donate. But I'm not giving Paramount a dime. People are also upset about the voice actors. Again, the voice acting for me wasn't bad. I understand why people are upset about the voice actors. Voice acting for me wasn't bad. Trust me when I tell you, this person says, trust me when I tell you, it will be well worth it. The movie was amazing. I feel so guilty for watching it, but I love Avatar so much. I literally could not resist myself. I'm definitely supporting the full release, and I really hope it does get a theatrical release. Well, it's not. Someone said, not me. The decision to fire the original VAs based on the color of their skin made me decide to share the video far and wide. Discrimination is expensive. So take two. Someone said, I'm asking a serious question. How does waiting until the release on the streaming service in any other way or form help? That's okay. So that's the point I was making earlier. I don't understand praise in April opposed to praise in October. Praise in April is going to be the same praise you're going to get in October. So I'm not of the mindset of, let me wait so I can respectfully I'm going to give you your flowers. Good job. Good job. The movie was beautiful. Lacked in story, lacked in character development, but the movie was beautiful. Let's get another one in, and let's do this right, and maybe tighten up security around Paramount. But I agree. So maybe somebody can answer that. How the fuck does that support the artist in April? I don't know how that helps. They've already been paid. Someone said, I just wish that they had a link or something where we can directly donate to Avatar Studios. I'd do that. Now, I would even help with that. And I can give you like $10-$5. Gas is high. But I would even do that. $10-$5. Here's $10-$5 to help you out for, just because of what happened. So I agree with that. Someone says, as I support the animators and artists. Someone said, I saw a glimpse of a scene, was amazed at the animation. I really want to see it in cinemas. Someone said, I own Paramount, so I did my part. It's not worth waiting 6 months for. Trust me. Someone says, stop lying, you bum. And I agree with that too. These people that are taking this moral stance of, I'm not watching it. I haven't seen it. Again, you don't know what people's Twitter fingers are like, or what their Twitter fingers are different from the life you live in. I can tweet one thing, probably tweeted it while watching it. You don't know. You don't know. And that's really it. So yeah, I agree with some of those comments there. All right. this thing though that someone made for the Kang thing.
The exiled one has fallen. The one who called himself He Who Remains no longer guards the flow of time. Our shadows recede. And now, the multiverse shall behold its true sovereign.
And that brother looked like Black Snake. No, I'm glad they took that raspy voice out. He didn't have enough time to prep for that character.
Kill him!
What have you done? I removed the noise. Where is it? It's no longer under our control. A throne beyond time. Give me a name. Loki. I can help you. I don't think so. We'll meet soon, Loki.
Yeah, I tell you what, if Doom was to do some shit like that to Kang, I would be literally the Viola Davis How to Get Away with Murder meme. I have to grab my shit and pick up, and I'd have to be like, what the fuck? That better not ever happen. Not like that. I know there's the rumor or speculation that Doom is supposed to decimate Kang, or however, if Kang's even incorporated, or however they use Kang. I don't even know. I haven't heard any shit about that. But that right there, although I showed that because it looks cool. Although I don't want them, that's not how I want it to go. That ain't how I want it to go at all. I think this AI shit though is crazy, but I don't want it to go like that. Yeah, I agree. Kyle says, Darius, do you think Spider-Verse is better? Do you think Spider-Verse is better? Better than what, brother? I do want to see it. I heard, according to Tina, it got the highest. Again, follow Tina Locklear. She is at CinemaCon and reporting on some great stuff. She said that it got the standing ovation from like a bunch of corporate people. You know, these are corporate people, money people standing up, giving it a standing ovation, cheering, got the loudest cheers from the Sony stuff. So, yeah, I'm ready for it. Again, every time I think about Spider-Verse, I just think time. It's been so long. It's been a while. Ricardo Wood said, also super random side note, but Darius, my youngest brother, already received mail about the automatic draft. They're really trying to send us off. Yeah, that's crazy. They're serious about it. Oh, it's interesting though. Not going to go into a political thing, but it's interesting though watching MAGA, the inevitable implode, the implode that we all knew was coming. It's interesting. And it's also interesting watching the ones that are Christians or so-called Christians or followers of Christ, whatever you want to label yourself as, still making excuses for the AI blasphemous picture that he posted. And then he posted another AI picture of him with Jesus the other day, or with Jesus rather than as Jesus. The things that he said, is just crazy. Just, I mean, you know, and they're still like, oh, I don't know why it's wrong. Yeah. Some of the MAGA Christian folks have been like, oh, going against him, but a lot of them are still been like, still my president. Still my president. It's like, oh, so you don't draw the line at your Christianity or your faith. Got it. Noted. Carter also said, Darius, I'm sure you already discussed, but please, what are your thoughts on Euphoria? Oh, man. I did not discuss it today, but I did watch the first episode of Euphoria. I did not think that I was going to like the first episode, but I strangely liked it. Now, we have strayed immensely far from where we started in season 1 or where we left off in season 2. Granted, she is still, now, when I say we've strayed from it, they still have the whole thin plot point of her working for the girl that she was working, I don't remember her name, working for the woman she was working for at the end of season 2. Fezco is in jail for 30 years, they say, because of, you know, what happened to Angus. It's very sad. You know, we fast forward to now Cassie and Nate are about to get engaged. So we have strayed so far from where we left off in season 2 or where we began in season 1. Rue is just all over the place. But I still found it interesting. It was still entertaining. It wasn't entertaining where I'm like, man, ooh, can't wait for the next one. But I'm gonna watch the next one. Yeah, it's so entertaining. I agree. They need to let it go. I'm glad this is the last season for them. You did not get half of the cast back. You're missing a lot of people. You were missing a few of those people in season 2, but you're missing a lot of people that honestly made the show. That was one of the things from season 1 for me that was so good about Euphoria. We were following so many different stories and so many different angles and points of views. The only point of view right now is Rue's. And granted, the show's about Rue, but that's not how we started. I mean, it was still about Rue as well, but we had other your supporting characters that had very fleshed out lives and very fleshed out plot points. I mean, hell, season 2, we spent a whole fucking episode on, I forget her name, what's her name, putting on the school play. That's how fleshed out some of the characters were. I feel like we've strayed so far from that. But yeah, I'm watching it. I think that's it from where I was, unless somebody else said something. Jay said, I bet those main characters wanted a bag, including Sydney. Oh, yeah, I bet they did too. Euphoria season 1 was a massive success. Season 2, I don't know if it was as big as season 1, but good show. I said the other day, I don't remember Zendaya in a lot of roles. I know that she's a household name and Zendaya has, you know, she's popular and everything like that, but I don't think Zendaya's name currently is a box office driving name, but I think her portrayal as Rue, when she plays Rue, she does a great job at Rue. I heard that she's really good in the drama too. I haven't seen it, but I heard she's really good in it. But all right. Yeah, the season is out, Jay. It's out. First episode's out. Dan the Man said, folks still can't be crying about Kang now. Doom should have been up next after Thanos from the start. Should have been, but that's not the way Marvel went. And that's not what they fed us. What they fed the audience, their consuming audience, was Kang. So they fed their consuming audience Kang. Yes, people are still going to cry. I'm not necessarily crying any longer about it, but I did. Not necessarily crying any longer about it. I think it is what it is at this point. It's, but I do think that they still need to find a way to make the Kang shit make sense. You can't just lead us toward Kang and then say, "Oh, Men in Black little Flash thing, there was no Kang. It's very, I mean, you put a whole film around Ant-Man about Kang, so we would need to see that. Let me see. Kyle said, do you think the Spider-Verse is the best animated superhero project ever made? Best animated project ever made. I don't know that it's the best animated superhero project ever made, but I really do like it. That's how Doomsday starts, Doom killing all of them. You know, again, that's why I said these rumors and conflicting reports on Doomsday. There's reports that Doomsday starts another way. Doomsday opens in with the X-Men playing a Game of Worlds and destroying Tobey Maguire's universe. Again, that could be a very big fan servicey fan theory thing, but it could also be real. Yeah. Let's see. The TVA going after each one. You see the image of Luke Cage leaked of Daredevil in jail? Yeah, I did see that, of him about to be mayor of Harlem. Going with that storyline, cameo in Brand New Day. I would love that. The cohesiveness, all the connections. I would love that. Even, you know, even though it's small, I'd still like that. I mean, I like the Val conversation and connection, even though we didn't hear Julia Louis-Dreyfus's voice. The fact that they mentioned her and that she had some type of power on the phone, on that phone call in Daredevil season 1, I like the connection. When Marvel used to do that all the time, it was great. So I liked it. All right, everybody. I'm probably going to go ahead and get on out so we can do our afternoon report. Sorry, Pantheon this evening. So if you were here today, come back this evening tonight. I think it's at 8:30 Central Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard. We will be live, myself, Marcus, and Chill for the Back of the Bus. We will be talking about all the things that have gone on throughout this week. And of course, we'll probably be talking about Disney's presentation, Marvel's presentation, the most during CinemaCon this evening. I guess it's supposed to be, I don't know if they're on stage now. I don't know what time it is there, but it's 5:30, I think, Central Standard Time that they're supposed to be taking stage. So, it's not live or anything, but the reports will be coming in. So I'm sure we'll be talking about them tonight. So come on back this evening. If you don't catch those on the regular, the Pantheon streams, come back and catch that with us. And then Chill and I do the afternoon woke up. You can check that out with the two of us. And I am about to start doing these solo, starting a little earlier than today. Today, I didn't get to start as early as I wanted to because I was trying to fix some things in StreamYard to cater to what I want them to be on my own individual streams. Like I put in some, I didn't even know you could do this on StreamYard. So you can do like the effects.
Oh shit!
What? Yeah. Yeah. So I was playing around with this shit. I was putting some effects in here, putting some stuff in here for my own personal individual streams. I need to get some super chat videos in here so when super chats are sent and everything like that. The new intro that I did, and then of course the outro that I put on today too. So I was playing around in here, so I didn't get to go as early as I wanted to. But tomorrow, I plan to be live tomorrow morning at, I want to do, I think 10 is what I'm going to do every day. And then after that, if Chill is available and his schedule syncs up or coincides with mine, then we will do the afternoon woke up at the regular time that we normally do it. So I'll stream twice that day, or twice in the day. And then of course on Thursdays, Pantheon and myself. So Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Come on back this evening. I'll see you all then. Pull some more people in here, and I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate Arthur for the super chat that you sent. I appreciate everybody for the engagement. Appreciate you guys all hanging out with me for this 2 hours, and I will see you guys all. Stay safe out there. Love you all. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. See you in a couple hours.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Travel down the road and back again.
Hey, so we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Pal and a confidant.
This is my part right here. Ooh, oh. If I did
Everyone knew.
new. The biggest gift, the biggest. Yeah, thank you for being my friend. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah.